All right, so this is our AVoverIP Motion JPEG 2000 solution. It's 1 gig network, HDMI 2.0 specifications. So you will be able to get full 4K 60 444 over 1 gig network. It has built-in USB as well, so you'll be able to use a USB peripherals, USB 2.0 with 480 megabits per second speed, where you can use cameras, you can use any USB peripheral. We have different SKUs, but first I'll talk about the standard SKU. So we have a Network HD 500 transmitter, a Network HD 500 receiver. It has a HDMI input, and the fiber is also available. As I said, it has a USB hub built in. There is also an ARC, so now there is audio return channel, so you can get the audio from the TV back to the receiver, from the receiver back to the transmitter, where you can feed your audio system. Additionally, for this year, what we are showing is that we have a new SKU. It's an NHD 500E. It's basically the same. However, we removed the USB ports. We removed the fiber port. So now you will have the same box, same technology, however, better price. Right? If you don't need the fiber, if you don't need the USB, you go with this one. Also, we have a Dante version. So here, there is a Dante port on the transmitter. So now I can extract the Dante audio either from analog input or from the HDMI input. I can choose, and it's totally isolated. So here I connect the Dante network through this, and Dante will recognize it, and the AVoverIP goes through this port. So it's totally isolated 2 ports. We have also in-wall solution. So with in-wall, it's a normal Network HD 500 transmitter. However, it has additional USB-C input. So you will be able to connect your laptop to it and transmit it through the network. The second new thing for this year is the new controller. This is version 2. Now we made it much smaller. The previous version is the bigger one. This one is now the size of the encoder. So you will be able to use our rack system and put it in the rack like a standard encoder. All right, and the last thing I want to tell you about is our multi-view. So this is really unique in Motion JPEG 2000 because you can't use multi-view processing because you just don't have enough bandwidth. What we developed is a brand new box. It's a multi-view processor, and now you will be able to show something like this. So you can do a multi-view, different multi-view layouts using a 400 series, the 500 series. You will be able to do like multi-view with picture-in-picture. You will be able to do all these kind of different layouts with the 500 series. All right.
If you're using a WyreStorm processor, do you need any
So,
for it to connect?
So if you want to integrate this with WyreStorm, we have pre-built module, simple Windows modules. So the WyreStorm will talk to the controller directly, and the controller will talk to all the endpoints. So that's how it works. But we pre-made modules, so it's really easy to integrate it with. You just use the module that we created, no need for programming the API from the scratch.
So you have to have the controller
Always.
Always, yeah.
Because the controller is sending the commands to the endpoints. So right.
It's easy to hot swap, for example, a dead box.
Yeah. So you will name each of these boxes. So you will name your transmitters, you will name your receivers, and then that's how controller will recognize them. So when you do a switching, you will just say matrix set TV1, Apple TV to TV1, and that's it. So in the WyreStorm will say to this controller, send me this transmitting video to all these TVs. If you want to replace a transmitter, you just unplug it, plug the new one, name it the same, and you're done. no need to program anything additionally. You just give it the same name.
I name it, and then you have to go on your computer and log on to the controller.
Exactly. The controller has a built-in web UI. So when you want to configure the controller, you just connect it to the network. You open the web browser, type the IP address of the controller. It will give you the 7-step wizard. You just follow the steps. In the steps, you just give the IP address to the controller, give the IP address to the box, to the endpoint, give them the name, create your layouts, multi-view layout, create your video walls, and that's it. And your system is ready. And then you can.
Any CNMP traps or something out to
Nothing.
so we can see if one of the boxes is down or something?
Yes, in the controller there is a how to say the.
Red and green lights on each box.
Well, let me show you how it looks. Here. So this is the controller web UI. So it's a dashboard. That was the word. So here you can see what transmitters are online, what receivers are online, and from here I can see what IP addresses are there, what kind of resolution is going into it. I can set the EDID, HDCP, I can see the firmware, I can do all the configuration here. Right? But as I told you, there is a built-in web UI which is really easy to follow, like anybody can do it.
Is there any integration for any of the monitoring systems like Utology and stuff, so you can kind of monitor and take the information from this page and this?
So right now we are discussing about it, but in the future we are looking for like cloud-based monitoring system. But right now only through API. So if anything drops down, if you lose video or if you lose a network connection, the controller will give the notification, the API notification. So your Crestron can talk to controller, and it doesn't have to pull the information. The controller will send the information to your Crestron processor, and you will know as soon as something drops. Crestron can catch it and react. It will send you the notification.
Regarding USB, so of course there's problematic with USB 3 and all AVoverIP, but are you using USB 2.0 with enough to send a USB camera, or is it just for camera?
No, you can use USB 2.0.
Yeah, so full cameras also.
It's I think it's about. I made a mistake. I said 480, but it's actually 300 megabits per second. But we tested with many cameras, and it's working perfectly fine. So you can use it with a camera. That's not a problem. All right. So I think on the paper, because we have stock, there is no waiting line. So on the paper, when you compare the NVX and the NHD, why the specs, they are the same. So
also I see some thumbnails down there. Is there some thumbnails generated within the encoders? Because sometimes you would like on the Crestron panel also to have like a preview stream.
It's a standard HTTP network stream preview. So you can put it on the network panel, but just to know, you know that Crestron panel can support only one at a time.
Yeah. We can go moving to HTML5. We can mix a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a stream preview.
Yeah. Are there any other features with your product that we should be aware of?
Well, this was the 500 series. As you know, we are also supporting other technologies. Here we are showing the H265, H264 compression. And here we have the SDVoE solution, that's 10 gig solution. So if you need like no compression at all, zero latency, that's the way to go.
Compression is okay for most educational uses. It's more the latency. So when you're H264, I guess it's a little bit more latency than.
Well, on the 500s, the latency is same as NVX. They say, and we say as well, it's 1 frame per second or 33 milliseconds.
There are scalers in
yes.
Of the.
All of the receivers
the
have
range has
yes,
scalers inside.
Yes. There is a scaler built in, so you can scale down for any resolution.
Does only one have Dante on the encoder side?
Only on
the decoder side?
No, only on an encoder.
But you have audio out, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a deembedded analog audio output. And also be aware that we are not processing any audio in sense of Dolby we can't do down mixing. So if you want to do any audio processing, you need to extract it from transmitter, put it on your AVR, and do the audio processing. Because for our system, wherever goes in, audio. Wherever goes in, it goes out. We support all Dolby Atmos, DTR, everything is supported.
Yeah.
But what goes in, goes out. We can't
yeah.
process it.
We have a DSP in front of
Exactly.
everything, so no problem.
Exactly. Right?